So I'm here at my last planned stop for the day of exploring the lower Delaware River. I'm at Washington Crossing State Park on the Pennsylvania side of the river. And as the name would imply, this is where General Washington crossed the Delaware with his troops on Christmas Eve of 1776, right before the Battle of Trenton. And there's a marker on the hill behind me up by the visitor center saying near this spot, so they probably don't have the exact launch point recorded, but yeah, so this is Delaware, and somewhere along this short little stretch of shore is where Washington crossed the Delaware in that famous painting. Not the same boats as in the painting. They have some of the boats in the building in the park, and they're actually pretty big. They're 60 feet long, 8 feet across, so they're not little canoes like you see in that painting. And on the other side of the river is also Washington Crossing State Park, but in the state of New Jersey. So they're two different parks with the same name, being in two different states. So I'm gonna, I think, head over to that bridge right there, take a walk across, so I can cross the Delaware just like Washington, except on foot. So I'm on the bridge crossing the Delaware. I'm almost across the bridge. I got a little break in the foot traffic, so it's actually pretty wide. It's like, I don't know, 300 yards across maybe. And it's not a small river, as you can see. So I made it to the Jersey side. So I'm in Washington Crossing, New Jersey State Park. And you can see across the river, that's where I started from just a few minutes ago. The visitor center and some of the historic buildings over there. And then the bridge over the river. And now I'm somewhere on this stretch is where Washington would have landed before heading south toward Trenton. Not a huge amount of fanfare on the Jersey side. I think there's a historical marker back by the crossing, but the PA side has a bit more with the historical buildings and the nice visitor center and stuff. But still pretty cool just to be in the spot, you know, where history happened, and like, you know, Washington was right here fighting to start America. Anyway, I'm gonna head back to PA where my car is parked, and so yeah, this will be my last stop for the day, and then I'll be hitting some national parks in New Jersey tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. But anyway, one last look at the Delaware. I noticed on the way down here, the driving is a little different than I'm used to. The roads are really tight. Some places there was one-lane bridges, kind of twisty, turny, barely enough room for two cars to go by each other sometimes. Sometimes there'd be, like, I might miss a turn, and then it'd be like a mile before there was a place to either turn around or park. That's why I picked those couple locks and aqueducts that I did earlier, because I just happened to see a public parking area and was like, oh, I'm gonna take it while I get it. So I'm heading over to Jersey now, over that same bridge that I walked across earlier, and I noticed when I was walking over that how tight the cars were. I mean, some cars had like a few inches clearance between them and like the steel rails of the bridge, and it's 2-lane and wicked tight. So I'm gonna go over and try to get a shot of just how tight it is driving over, because it's just around the corner. I can see a little sliver of it from here. I'm still in Washington Crossing Park. Yeah, it's driving I haven't experienced in a while. I asked a ranger about it, and he said it's probably because of, kind of dating back to the colonial days, like when they didn't have to design it for what we consider modern traffic, and there just is no room to widen the road because the houses are pretty much built right to the shoulder, and then you got the canal, and there's just like no room to widen it. So it's not too bad here, but between Ringing Rocks and New Hope, it was tight. So I'm gonna go over this bridge over to Jersey and see what kind of shot I can get.